Good evening, everyone. This is my assignment on mental health and ministry, and my name is Caroline Woldridge. I want to start by asking a question. How many of us know someone who struggles with anxiety or depression or burnout? Maybe even ourselves, but we feel like we can't talk about it in the church. So the CDC reports that 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. actually experience anxiety or depression symptoms. The World Health Organization noted a 25% global increase in these conditions since 2020. And yet, many people of faith still suffer in silence. They come to worship each week carrying invisible pain that we cannot show, feeling judgment or misunderstanding. As one study put it, the pews are filled with silent sufferers. Our church can actually change that. There's a real need for the church to be a safe, compassionate space for those struggling with mental health. Research by Perez found that while clergy are often the first point of contact for people in distress, most churches lack structured mental health support or referral systems even. That means that pastors are overburdened and members may not receive the professional help that they necessarily need. At the same time, the stigma continues. Be silent. Don't speak out. Even strong believers feel ashamed to admit that they're battling with depression or trauma. The Bible doesn't hide mental distress. Elijah in 1 Kings 19 begged God to take his life, and God responded not with rebuke, but with rest, food, and his presence. Psalm 34:18 reminds us that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Jesus himself invited the weary to come to him for rest. If the Bible shows good compassion for mental suffering, shouldn't his church do the same? Here is what I'm proposing. Our church launches a mental health care team, a lay-led ministry supported by pastoral leadership and guided by a licensed Christian counselor. The team would not replace therapy. Instead, it would provide safe peer support groups for anxiety, grief, and caregiving. We would hold monthly educational workshops on topics like stress, trauma, burnout, and we would also have a referral network of trusted local counselors and crisis hotlines. Training for volunteers and clergy in programs like Assist for Suicide Prevention would also be a thing. Studies show that when faith communities partner with mental health professionals, both the congregation's health and sense of belonging improve significantly. We can do this with a small pilot program, a 6-month trial with a $3,000 budget for training materials and outreach. Now imagine this, a year from now, someone walks through our church doors overwhelmed by anxiety. Instead of hiding their pain, they find a supportive team, ready to listen, pray, and connect them to help. Our pastors no longer carry the entire counseling burden alone. Our members feel safer, more connected, and more willing to speak openly about their struggles. Over time, that kind of love and transparency could transform our culture from one kind of silent suffering to one of Christ-centered healing. Research by Vanderweel found that religious communities that intentionally integrate compassion and evidence-based mental health support see lasting benefits in both spiritual and emotional well-being. This isn't just ministry, it's mission. So what can you do today? First, you can approve the creation of a pilot mental health care team. Secondly, you can nominate volunteers or consider serving yourself. Thirdly, support our initial training and resource budget. I'm also asking our leadership team to host an orientation meeting next month to explain the process and begin selecting our initial members. Together we can be the hands and feet of the church to those who are hurting, not by replacing faith with psychology, but by integrating faith and care grounded in scripture and the church and science alike. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. Let's make that more than a verse. Let's make that a reality. Mental illness does not define anyone's faith, but faith lived out through love and action can redefine how we respond to mental illness. Let's step forward as a church that listens, supports, and restores. Thank you.